Hey, this is Sasha, and in today's WordPress training video, what I want to do is share with you how you can make friendly permalinks, or in other words, a friendly URL structure. Now, it's important to understand, why do you really want a friendly URL structure? Well, there are a few benefits. One of the benefits is, of course, it's easier for you to find or direct people to a certain page of your website. So for example, if you're looking at my website, let's say backstageincome.com, and now from this page, I tell people, well, just visit backstageincome.com/resources if you want to see the resources that I have available. And when they type that in, then they can go directly to the resources page. And that's where they would find, all the different resources that I have, including the hosting, building your email list, growth and management for your business. So there's a lot of resources of tools, equipments, and things that I use. Now that's just a quick way to reference people to a certain location. So that's just a good way to structure URLs. The other way, or the other benefit to this, is if you have a simple URL structure or permalinks, in that case, it allows the search engines or the robots to scan your website and index it much more friendly because there's more directories. So for example, you can see we're in the top directory here, which is just /resources. But in fact, if you go into, let's just say, my video tools, camera, and equipment, you can see there's a few tools here. But if I click see all my video gear and I hit that button right there, watch how the URL at the very top, it changes. It's /resources/vid-tools-equipment. And this breaks things down from the cameras that I use to the lenses, to the microphones, tripods, background and lighting, and additional goodies that people may be interested in looking. So the search engines then know that within resources, this is the video equipment resources. So when you're sorting your content and pages and structuring a nice URL structure, it's always good to focus on those two things. Number one, the user. Number two, also the search engines and the robots. Now, when you get into WordPress, there are a few different ways that you can structure the permalinks. And if you go into your panel and you log into WordPress, and I'll just share with you my WordPress here, as you scroll down, okay, and you go into, let's just say, your settings, okay, and you can't see it right here because I'm blocking the way, so let me just hide this. And if you go into settings and you go into permalinks right there, you'll see there's a lot of different settings. Some are related to other plugins, but if I hit the permalinks area right there, that link, and I get right into the permalinks, and now what you'll notice is that there's a lot of different settings that you have here within WordPress. Now, as we zoom in a little bit so you can see, here we have a plain setting, which is the standard default. Now, in this setting, what you can see is there's a question mark P, which is for page, and then equals 123, or it'll be your page ID. This is typically the standard or plain setting that WordPress will be set up with. Okay, it'll usually be a check mark there on that bullet point, and it'll be highlighted right there. Now, in our case, normally we don't want to use this because search engines have not been very friendly to URLs that are a little more dynamic. And in that case, you try to simplify things for them. Now they've been getting much better at it, and they've been able to pick those things up. But even then, it's nice to have nice URLs because you can't always remember what the page ID number is if you're looking to hand that or pass that over to a friend. So for many people, what they actually use as far as bloggers go, especially if you have evergreen posts, which are posts that don't really expire, they look at just the post name right here. So this is typically the main one that for many people that they like to use. Now, this is great at the beginning when you're just posting periodically. The one caveat or the problem that you may have with this is if you have a very similar title or post name that is created with that slug, with that little end extension right there, it can cause conflict. So you have to be really careful with that, and especially as you're posting more frequently. Now, one of the advantages, of course, is that since you don't have numerals like the year 2017 or the month or the day, people think the post is still relevant. So it could play a psychological trick on people that if you do have the year included in there, they may think it's not as relevant or the content's not as useful, when in fact it's just fine and very useful. But in this case, the post name is usually good for general blogging, for general information, evergreen content. But if you post quite frequently, it can become a problem, especially if the postings or the names are very similar. And even if you have one post that's 5 years old and another one that's, let's say, brand new, and they have a very similar slug or the same slug, it can cause conflict. So keep that in mind. The other ones that you could do is things like the day and name right here. So you see it starts with a year, month, and then you get into the day and then the post title. You could go into month and name right here on this one, and that's just year and month. And then of course the post slug. The numeral is kind of very similar to this one at the very top, except it's just makes it a little bit nicer without the question marks and things like that. So if anything, go with that rather than this plain one. You really don't want to stick to the plain one. So those are kind of the options that you have. Now, one thing that you could also do is take a look at this custom structure. And this is what I've actually done. And what I've done is just put the year in there. So for me, I use the year at the moment and then the post name. So that kind of gives me a combination of month and name, but without the month. So it somewhat avoids a little bit of that discrepancy that you may get with just doing the post name. So I just put in the year and then I put in the post name there, and that's just the way I structure the page. And if you're going to change it, all you need to do is just click that button right there and go in and hit the Save Changes button at the bottom, and you should be good to go. And if you take a look at the website and now you visit the blog page, so let's just say we go on over to the blog, so you can see this post right here was published January 25th, 2017. That's just the date structure that is mentioned there. If I click it, you can see at the very top, it basically transforms that URL to /2017 and then /my post slug. So that's the permalinks, and that's the way that they structure it. If I go to another post, let's just say further down, let's say this one, December 14th, 2016, I go ahead and I click this one. Since this one's in 2016, it'll be 2016 Project Fi Review Experience. So you can see how this post slug really works, and for these permalinks, combining them together, how it shortens the URL but also makes it very friendly. So in either case, that's just the way that I do my postings, because I post a little more frequently and I don't want to have the trouble of thinking, did I already create something like that? Because sometimes I may do 2 or 3 videos on the same type of subject, but explaining it differently. Maybe one will be a little more visual, maybe one will be a screencast. So there's some similarities on some of the postings that I may do, but I don't want those to conflict and have an issue with my website. So the way that you do it is completely up to you. What's important is that you have a nice URL and permalink structure. One big thing to keep in mind is once you set this, the minute you set this in your WordPress website, if your site is set, you probably don't want to change it again, because it's going to completely mess your structure up. Okay, meaning if the robots, people remember it, if people are linking to your website and you go ahead and change this, it's going to change it everywhere on your website, which could be a major problem. So once you set this, normally you do not touch it again. I would say in certain instances, let's just say you're 1 month or 3 months or 5 months into blogging and you haven't had a lot of traffic or picked up things, and you're seeing, okay, you're creating a lot more content. In that case, you may decide, hey, I'll change it a little bit to maybe something with a year and post name, or a year, month and post name, month and date kind of thing, or month and name. In that case, you're fine to change it because you're still new. But once you're 1 or 2 years into blogging, you're probably not going to want to mess with this, because it's going to affect it everywhere throughout your website, and it's just not going to work out real well. You'll have a lot of dead links and broken links, which can cause a lot of problems that for people that are linking to you and for your visitors. Now I'll show you one other quick example here on my Traders Fly website, which is a little bit more popular. We post more frequently than the Backstage income website. So if you take a look here on these posts, you can see we pretty much post almost every other day or so. So February 1st was this post, January 31st, January 30th, because you can see I put in charts, there's live classes, webinars. So this one, if you click through it, you can see the URL structure that I use here is year, and then month, and then the slug for the title. So it's basically the month and the name that's in there, but that's because it has more postings, it's a little more news related, there's more active content, there's webinars. So again, a little bit differently structured simply because of the website the way it is. If I was to redo it again, I probably would still only have the year, simply because I'm able to name things a little bit differently, or add in, let's say, 41 minutes to the end of the post slug, and that would create a little variance in those slugs. But again, I would still probably have the year and then the slug and so on. But anyways, this one's a little more news heavy and it has more active content. So to avoid any conflicts, I've put in year and month when I first started it, and that's just the way it's been structured, and that's the way you want to keep it for the long haul, because that's how it was when it was first originally set up. You don't want to mess with these things once they are set up, pretty much, unless you're still new and the blog is kind of 1 or 2 months old, in which case you're probably okay to do it, but you'll need to redirect and play a little bit with some of the links that are happening on your page. All right, so thanks for joining me in this training video. I hope you found it helpful to learn about permalinks. By all means, go ahead and continue watching some of the other training videos I have on WordPress. But if you want to join me on some exclusive business training videos, or even some of the live classes, click the button right here, and when you get there, enter your name and email address, and you'll be added to my newsletter list. So that way you're notified as I release new exclusive content or schedule live classes. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.